Okay, this is a quick video on how to set up the test database if you're a developer. The goal is to get the latest version of the database onto your local machine to be able to run the application against and develop against. So first of all, to start, you have to have in SQL Server NT Authority, network service added as a login on your computer. Right now the services are running under NT's Authority Network Service. So it has to be a user. Now you just need to have the login, and ultimately when the database gets built it's going to look for that login and set permissions. Okay, so once you're sure you have that, you go into Visual Studio and you open up the ExoQuote DB project, and here it is, and you want to set it up so that it does a local build for you and just set your local parameters. And the way you do that is through the properties. And so by opening the properties, and I'll have to give us a little room here, so I'm trying to make this small for all of it, there we go. You'll see that you can do my isolated development environment, and this is just going to set the properties for you locally. And what you want to do is create a deployment script and deploy to the database. So we're going to rebuild the database each time our DBA or whoever makes changes to the script. The script name is going to be dbQuoteDB. The target database is EXO. You'll want to add your local connection here. Alright, so you do that through the normal ways that you're used to adding a connection to SQL Server. And you shouldn't have to touch these guys right here, at least yet. So by setting these things, you've set up how your deployment's going to happen when you hit deploy. Alright, so once you've done that, you can come over to EXO and just hit deploy. Now you can hit build first if you're curious. And notice if you build, it does a database build. Now nothing's changed much since I did that. What a build does is actually check all the scripts and make sure that all the things that reference one another are valid. So the idea of a build of SQL is kind of counterintuitive if you haven't done it before, but it's great because it does things like if you have a view that references a table that doesn't exist, it actually doesn't build. So it ends up just basically doing a validation of the whole schema. The whole schema being defined in these scripts down here. For example, tables, and there's our tables. So that's a whole other thing as to how this kind of a project works. What we're going to do now is do right mouse click deploy, and then you'll see deploy happening here, and I'll get this window a little smaller so it fits in the video, and you can see what's happened is it's generated a script, ExoQuote. You can go see where that script is if you want to look at it, and then it's gone ahead and run that script. So if you see the creating, it's actually gone ahead and built it. Now that script ran, and we got a deploy was successful. So let's go have a look. If we go back over to SQL Server and we do a refresh, we see that we have the EXO database. It has tables. It's ready to go. The other thing that it did is it, in security, added the network service and gave it the reader-writer roles that we need so that Entity Framework can access the database and do what it needs to do. So that's what you need to do to build up the database. As you pull in the database and the schema changes, you can just delete it and rerun this and should be ready to go. Hopefully we'll be adding test data to the scripting soon, so you'll get new test data as well. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.